Endless chaos. That's how I would describe what we witnessed last week in the World Series. I mean, where do we even start? Series came down to the wire so many times I actually thought I was gonna have a heart attack. I'm not even a fan of either team. What I want to do in this video is talk about some of the insane storylines from the World Series, and I'm going to tell you guys why I think this World Series changed baseball forever. By the way, if this is your first time, welcome to Team Snake Baseball. Welcome to our channel. Make sure you check out all our social media, links in the description below. Check out our merch. We got hats, short sleeve hoodies, we got shirts, shorts, and regular hoodies. Awesome stuff, fantastic quality. Make sure to check it out at teamsnake.com. It would be wrong if I didn't start with Yoshinobu Yamamoto. I mean, what did we even witness here? Easily the World Series MVP.
Won all 3 games on the road, 1.02 ERA, 17.2 innings, 15 Ks, 2 walks, complete game in game 2, a 6-inning, 1-run performance in game 6, coming back on 0 days rest to go win game 7 in relief.
The workload is basically unheard of. I mean, I genuinely think if Yoshi wasn't Japanese, the Dodgers coaching staff would be locked up for abuse. Because these guys in Japan grew up throwing with this workload, throwing thousands of pitches a week. It's basically a normal day at the office for them. The implications of this performance are so huge. I think you could argue that Yamamoto basically made up the ROI on his $325 million contract in 1 year. And I'm gonna explain why in a bit. I mean, that 9th inning of game 7, wow. Top 9 went out, Miggy Rojas comes up, hasn't had a hit in a month, hits a bomb to tie game 7 of the World Series. I mean, who isn't happy for Miggy Ro? Such a well-liked guy, respected veteran in the clubhouse. Bottom 9, Yamamoto comes in, bases loaded, somehow works out of the jam. You got infield and Miggy Rojas again stumbles, throws home. Will Smith's toe somehow stays on. Dodgers stay alive by literally a hair. In that third out, oh my goodness, Andy Pages goes in the game like 2 batters before, levels his teammate, Kike Hernandez, catches the biggest fly ball of his life. I mean, it's a game of inches and milliseconds, man. What can you say? Like, what more can I want as a fan than this? Look, man, I got to give a ton of respect to the Blue Jays as well. Going from last to first in the AL East in 1 year, that's just unheard of. These guys played absolutely out of their minds. Ernie Clement breaks the postseason hits record. Vladdy mashes as usual. Bichette comes back to play second base for the first time in his entire career. Trey Yesavage, what are we even talking about here? How can you not love this guy? Went from A-ball to game 7 of the World Series in a single year, in a calendar year. What are we even doing? You know, I gotta say, I know it's unpopular. I know it's not what the world wants to hear, but the better team did win here, you know? I mean, the Dodgers assembled one of the best rosters in history. It just depth in every single part of the roster. Not to mention, they weren't even playing their best baseball in the World Series. You can't overstate how much bullpens matter in the World Series and in the postseason generally. I think that's where the Dodgers really outmatched the Jays here. What I really want to get to though in this video is that I think Major League Baseball is at an inflection point, at a turning point. Let's call it a second global baseball renaissance. I'm super nerdy, I majored in history, just try to stay with me here. Jackie breaks the color barrier in 1947. We start to see more Black and Latino players trickling in the late 40s, but it really explodes in the 1950s. You got Willie Mays, Hank Aaron, Ernie Banks, Frank Robertson, Minnie Minoso, Roberto Clemente, Orlando Cepeda, Luis Aparicio. The Black players were obviously Americans, but their interest into the league helped spark a global brand of baseball. Let's think of the first global baseball renaissance as occurring from 1947 to 1959. I think we're at a point where we can safely say we're at a second global baseball renaissance. I think it starts with Shohei. I mean, he's absolutely taken over the MLB in the last couple of years, not to mention the entire world. And his decision to come over really motivated other Asian players. Look at Yamamoto, Sasaki, Hyosung Kim, Jung-Ho Lee. You got so many big names coming over in the last couple of years. I think what really brought baseball into the global mainstream this time around was the 2023 World Baseball Classic. You had single games with 62 million views. The American team with tons of stars, Latin teams with that typical Latin flair, and that final culmination, Ohtani versus Trout. I mean, what more can you ask for? I think this brought national passion back to the game in a way that we've never seen before. You had Americans, Japanese, South Koreans, Latino guys talking about how this was the most fun baseball they've ever played in their entire life. Even teams from the smaller countries were getting insanely fired up. It was incredible. Okay, now let's look at where we stand after this World Series. The series was dominated and headlined by Vladdy, who's from Canada, but also Dominican by origin, Ohtani and Yamamoto, who are Japanese. I know the Blue Jays lost, but I think baseball in Canada is going to be so invigorated by Vladdy and the Blue Jays, just really riling up that national pride. Look at how much Vladdy loves being from Canada. Look, all this is to say that the stars have aligned for MLB to take advantage of this global boom. If you can take one thing from this video, realize this: the game is younger and more global than it ever has been, and it's time for MLB to go export our game proactively to the world. They took huge risks on rule changes that all paid off. They won back tons of viewers. Contracts are bigger than ever. Star power is bigger than ever. Now it's time to go. More events like the Tokyo Series, but in developing baseball markets. More investment in academies and player development around the world. More press and coverage for the WBC. More players posted from foreign leagues to the MLB. This is expensive, don't get me wrong, but the league and teams should love it. Here's what's gonna happen. One day, a player from Australia or South Africa or the Netherlands is gonna become so big and dominate the MLB so hard that his entire country goes all in on the game. This basically just happened in Japan. They were all in on the game, but now they're all in on the MLB. That phenomenon is gonna mean so much money and growth for the league. That's why I said earlier that Yamamoto basically made up the whole ROI on his contract in 1 year. What he just did is gonna drive so much viewership, so much Dodgers fandom, so much merch sales, and so much baseball culture in Japan. Look, I know that was a lot, but I hope you guys enjoyed. I put a ton of time and effort into this one. It honestly felt like writing one of my college essays, but I enjoyed making it a ton. Anytime I can fuse my interest in global culture and history with baseball, I'm gonna be a happy man. Thank you guys a ton for watching, and make sure to check out all our merch at SteveSnake.com. P.S. I know I barely mentioned Shohei at all, but his performance in Game 4 of the NLCS is literally the greatest baseball performance of all time. I cannot believe that there are humans alive today sitting on their couch right now saying, Babe Ruth, 295-pound, glizzy-eating, cigar-loving Babe Ruth, who only played against white people in 1927, was a better baseball player than Shohei Ohtani. This guy is playing right now, and he is the greatest player to ever walk the earth. If you are on the other side, you're just wrong, and that's all there is to it.